Hello. Welcome to Lori's Classroom Stories and Crochet.
Okay, I'm going to show how to do this. I'm going to make a slip knot. I'm using a 6mm crochet hook and some Premier Basic in gold for this honeycomb. I'm going to do a single crochet foundation chain as opposed to doing a chain and then going back through. So my counts for this are going to be a multiple of 8 plus 5. So I'm going to do 16 for this swatch, 16 plus 5. And so how you do a foundation single crochet US terms row is you make one chain, which I just did, and then you go back in. That's why I kind of held it to make sure it would hold out a little bit. Go back into that first, and then I came through. Now normally for a single crochet you would pull through both, but we're just going to pull through one, and then that makes the chain, and then pull through 2. And then I go through that chain, pull up a loop, go through the first one, that makes the chain, and then pull through both, and that makes the single crochet. So now I have 2, 3, I'll do this a couple more times and then I'll go off camera. 3, so pull through the first, get the chain, and then that's 3, and then back through here. Oop. Pull up a chain, or make the chain by pulling through 1, and then pull through both for your single crochet, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm going to go off camera again. I'm going to do a multiple of 8, so I'm going to do 2 sets of 8. There's a couple ways you can mark that. Either you can use a stitch marker and mark your 8th every 8, so you can keep track that way. Or you can mark every 10, like on my actual large blanket where I did 85. The graph will be included. Like if you click, you'll be able to see that graph. But again, however it works, I use stitch markers like this, and I just put it through. You can put it through the bottom or the top, whichever works better for you. But this is just so I can keep track, so I don't have to count to 85. I can just keep track. And like I said, in this pattern, since it's a multiple of 8, you could put a stitch marker at your 8th one. Like clip it through. And again, it's only to hold the place of the count. Now, I know some people really find it useful to go ahead and put a stitch marker in their first chain as well, which is right there, because then they know not to go into this piece right here. So again, I'm going to do 2 sets of 8 and 5 more. So I'm going to do a total of 21 stitches. On the blanket, you see, or in the graph, is 85. The blanket I actually made had a few less because I didn't figure out to do the add 5. But I fixed the graph to include that so that it would be easy to do. Now, the swatch I'm going to make, or the example I'm going to make, is much easier. Like it would be big enough to do a scarf if you wanted to make a scarf that's 21 wide. But I'm going to go ahead and leave that stitch marker there in that first stitch. But again, I'll come back when I have my 2 sets of 8 plus 5, and use stitch markers however it works for you, or if you have a clicker, I have one. Hold on one second. Let me find it. You could use one of these if that would be helpful. Now, I tend to use this when I'm counting rows as opposed to stitches, but whatever works for you. Some people don't like stitch markers, and that's fine. It's just whatever's going to be helpful to you as you're working through this. Like I said, either stitch markers, it's for, especially if this is more complicated than something you've usually done in the past, or you haven't used the foundation, chainless foundation, which technically you're making a chain, so it's not totally chainless, but if you're using that for the first time, I would mark that first stitch either way, but it's going to be multiples of 8 plus 5 to get a complete honeycomb look. And again, I'll be back when I have my 21, again, 2 sets of 8 plus 5, but you can make this as big as you want. Okay, so that's not going to actually count as a row. I did that so that it would be easier to go into as I was working that, and there would be kind of an edge at the bottom. So this is going to actually be our row 1. And what you're going to do is from here on out, chain 1 and turn. And from here on out, it's pretty much double crochets. Let me take that stitch marker out, just I was making sure I had 21. So I did 10s. So we go in here, yarn over, go through, pull up a loop. So you have 3 on, this is US terms, double crochet. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So you can do what I just did, or let me back this up, and I'll do what's called a standing double crochet. I think that's the name for it. I decided halfway through, or maybe a third of the way through, on the blanket. Actually, yeah, it had to have been a third, or maybe even only a fourth of the way through. I saw this stitch and I thought it was way easier than like chaining up 3 and then doing a double crochet in there. So I'm going to go through, after I did my chain and turned, I'm going to go through, pull up a loop. I'm going to make a single crochet, but now I'm going to go in this loop right here. Let me move that. In this loop, and pull, go through it, yarn over, pull through, and now we've made a single crochet, and now we're going to do another single crochet on top. And that's going to count as our double crochet in that first stitch. Okay, and then double crochet, so yarn over, go through, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, and we're going to do 4 of these double crochets. Yarn over, go through, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. Now, here's the popcorn stitch. This is the, oh wait, that's only 3. Sorry, one more. 4. So 4 double crochets, and then we're going to do a popcorn stitch. Now, a popcorn stitch is typically 5 double crochets, but that was kind of a bit of a yarn eater for me, so I decided to do on the pattern 4 double crochets. So I would say it depends on, you know, if you're trying to be conservative with yarn, do 4. I'm going to do 4 here into the same, so 4 double crochets, again US terms, so yarn over in, and now the second one I'm going into that same stitch, yarn over again, go through 2, go through 2, yarn over into the same stitch, go through, or yarn over, go through 2, go through 2. Okay, so we have 3. 3 isn't going to be puffy enough. I kind of played with it to see what would work best. 3 wasn't enough. I didn't need 5, so I'm going to do 4. So I do 4. Oh, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. Now here's where the popcorn stitch gets interesting. Okay, so this is going to be our front. So 1, 2, 3, 4 in that same stitch. And then we go back for 1, 2, 3, 4, and we put, notice I took my hook out. I pulled this up and took my hook out. I'm going to go back into this one right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's that first double crochet in that stitch. I'm going to stick my hook through and then grab this yarn. I put my finger there just so I can make sure it pulls kind of straight, and then I pull it down. Now I do not chain here. Okay, this is going to be the stitch on top of that. So now I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to double crochet. So this part is going to create kind of the edge of the honeycomb at the bottom. So we're going to do another popcorn stitch. So it goes popcorn, double crochet, popcorn. So 1, over, yarn over into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, pull through 2. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3. Okay, do a 4th. Pull through 2, pull through 2. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I pull it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go through the front. That's what's going to change on the next row, by the way. And I'm going to pull that through. I pull it down kind of tight, but then I don't want this one to be very tight. So then double crochet, and then we're going to do this one more time. So right now we are on stitch number, what is it, 5? 4, sorry, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're on 8. So it wouldn't be very finished if it was only a count of 8, right? So that's why we need the extras. So this is going to be a set of 5 stitches is how I thought about this as I was designing it. So it's a popcorn, a double, a popcorn, a double, and now we're going to do another popcorn. This will be our last popcorn for a bit. One, sorry, double crochet. Sorry, my dog just lost his mind. Come here, kitty. And then the kitty got involved because the dog got excited. 2, yarn over in the same stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. This is number 3. And number 4. And then I always double check. 1, 2, 3, 4 in that same stitch. Pull it up because you don't want it to down too low or you might lose it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lose that loop. Go through the front and then grab that. Pull it through. Pull it down. Like I said, this becomes the stitch that's at the top of here. Now, we're done with the little bottom section of the hexagon. So we are going to do now, I believe it's 8. Let me just double check here. I was wrong. It's actually 11. So I'm glad I checked. So whenever you're on this, so this is again, this is row 1. even though we did that foundation row, it was just to kind of establish the bottom. So anytime we come to a set of 5 like this, where it's three popcorns with a double crochet in between each, the next set is going to be 11. So I'm going to do 11 double crochets. Oop, sorry guys. 1. And again, I don't want that too loose. 2, 1. Sorry, that's 1, 2. I need to get rid of that stitch marker. 3. 4. Again, this is all double crochets. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 'Need to pull some yarn. 10. 11. Now, you see that we are on the last stitch, which is, again, that's only because I'm doing such a small swatch. Obviously, I continued this pattern. So this is how it'll work. It will be 5 stitches here, and then 11, and then a popcorn. Now, if I was going to continue, so now we're going to do a popcorn stitch before I move on. So I did 11 double crochets, US terms. Okay, get in there. Oop. 1. 2. 3. 4. 'Pull that loop up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure they're all in that same stitch. Yep. Every once in a while, I do literally always double check. Every once in a while, I made an extra or I only had 3. So always check that you have 4 in that stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm counting the V's to figure out which one to go in from the top. And then I pull through. Now, here's the part that's a little thrown off by being on the edge here. If I was going to continue, so if I had 8 more stitches, oops, sorry about that, I would, so that's how it looks right now. I would, so that was the 5 and the 11, so it would be another set of 5. So if I was going to continue this swatch, and I will have it better written out so it's easier to follow. So like I said, this is the fattest part of the honeycomb. Actually, I don't know if I said that. See, I lost that stitch. 1, 2. Gotta flatten it so I can make sure I'm in the right one. 4. Okay. Let me pull that up more so I don't lose it again. Okay. So anytime I do 11, stitches, I'm going to do 5 stitches, which is the 3 baubles with the, or 3 popcorns with the doubles between. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's that 5 stitch thing that I was talking about, and then this is 11. So we're only doing a partial to start, because what I decided when I was designing this is that I would start with this, where it's going to come up here and it's going to be on the edge on row 4. So my dog is deciding he's going to be right here right now, so he kind of knocked the tripod. Anyway, so if you were going to continue, which again, this is a decent scarf width. It's not huge, but it's not tiny. If you were going to continue, you'd do 5 and then 11, and then this set of 5, 5, 11, and then the set of 5, 5 and 11. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. That's how the pattern will work from here. This beginning part is just to accommodate for where I wanted the honeycomb to land on the edge here. This is not the yarn I used for the actual blanket I made. The actual blanket I made was the Colorama Halo in beeswax. I got a bunch of them on clearance, but it was just absolutely gorgeous, and it's ombre, and that's what the picture is. I will talk about that too. So that's row 1, and I'm going to pause for a second, or actually stop, and then we'll do row 2. It's, like I said, it's a 9-row repeat, but if you're continuing on, the pattern for this row, this is just that beginning, so you, at some level, kind of almost ignore that, but it's 5 stitches, which is this 3 popcorns with a double in between each, a double crochet in between each, and then 11, and then a popcorn, which this popcorn would be the beginning, but in this case, the end. This would be this popcorn stitch right here. So you can see 5 plus 11 is 16, which is a multiple of 8. But then we have these 4 here and this one here, and that's our extra 5 that we need. So again, any multiple of 8 plus 5 will work. For row 1, it will be the repeat from here, from starting not from this beginning piece, but from here, the repeat is popcorn, double, popcorn, double, popcorn. So that's 5 stitches, and then 11 double crochets and a popcorn. So again, I'm going to stop to go ahead and move to row 2. It is going to be a chain 1 and turn. Okay, here's row 2. I will move that shortly. So we're going to chain 1 and then turn our work. And I know there's a better way to turn your work, but that's what I do. And I'm going to do that, like I said, I think it's called a standing double crochet. Again, US terms. I'm going to go into the stitch that was on top of that popcorn stitch. And I'm going to pull up a loop. Pull through those both. Then go through this leg of the single crochet, pull up a loop, and then pull through both, and then that makes our double crochet for that. Now for this, so we ended on a popcorn stitch, so if you're following that pattern, you should end up on a popcorn stitch. So we're going to do 1 double crochet, which that's what that was, and then we're going to do a popcorn stitch. So row 2 is 1 and a popcorn stitch, which is 4 double crochets in the same stitch. Again, traditionally it's 5, but I just didn't want to use that much yarn, and 4 was plenty to give the effect. Like I said, 3, I tried 3. 3 was not enough to give the effect. It just didn't look like enough of a bump. So this 4. Now, notice we are on the back side. We're on the back side, so those bobbles are there, right? So instead of, okay, I'm still going to pull this loop up. Instead of going back here and going through here, the way we did on the first row, we want the popcorn to stick out that way. So we're going to stick our hook in backwards and otherwise do the same thing. So I'm going to hook it around and close it down, and then make sure that's not too tight, this loop. So that is the change to get, and notice that popcorn is on that other side. Now, I personally have not seen anybody else do it this way. This is how I kind of accidentally figured it out when I was making octopus hats. But as far as I know, that's not to say it isn't out there. It's just what I did. And I like using double crochets because in general they use less yarn. And also it gives single crochets, when you have to do a lot of them, get annoying, I guess would be the nice way to say that. So again, for this row, we had 1 double crochet and then a popcorn stitch. Now we're going to do 9 double crochets. So yarn over through the next stitch, pull through 2, yarn over through the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. So we're going to do 9 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 double crochets. Sorry if all that wiggling around is annoying. Okay, so notice I'm here at the right in front of that popcorn stitch. That's where we want to do a popcorn stitch. So it was 1 a popcorn and then 9, and now we're going to do a popcorn. And you know it's in the right place if it's right before that popcorn, which is technically the loop from across the top. So remember, 4 double crochets in the same stitch. Pull up the loop, go back 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure I actually had 4 in that. Yep, I sure did. Don't go through this way because that would pull your bobble the wrong direction. Go through backwards and then grab that loop. And then you can kind of see how the structure of the popcorn from the other side. And then this is going to be 5. So it was 1 and a popcorn, 9 and a popcorn, and now we're going to do 5 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, sorry about the squeakies, 4, 5. Now that's in that popcorn stitch, so that's the right place because this row is going to be on the outside. It's barely on the outside there, but it is on the outside. And so this Now we're going to do a popcorn stitch. Did I miss a stitch? I just want to make sure. No, we're good. Okay, and then popcorn stitch. So 4 double crochets in the same row, or sorry, same stitch. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, we don't go forward, we're going backward because we're on the back side. So this pattern definitely has a front and a back. So there was, so it was 1 and a popcorn, 9 and a popcorn, 5 and a popcorn, and now this is going to be 3. So remember on the previous row we had 4 stitches, but we should have 3 left. So you should come out in the last stitch. 3 double crochets, US terms. And I try to find the top of that. That's part of why I like the standing double instead. And again, I think that's what it's called. I wish I could remember for sure. I will link who I learned that from. I think it was actually a Facebook short or something. I had seen it before, but somehow this one stuck in my brain. So we go through the top. I like that as opposed to finding the top of a chain 3. And we go through that and pull through 2, pull through 2. Chain and turn. Okay, so now you can kind of see how it's looking. As you get further, this pattern, this honeycomb pattern, but you can kind of see it starting to develop. This will go all the way over, this will narrow down, and then it'll come out to the widest, and then it'll go back. In between is always odd, which is nice, and it goes 11, 9, 7, 5. I like the 7 row because it's always 7s, like 7s and a popcorn. I like that row. So that's the next row, which we'll talk about again. It'll be 11, 9, 7, 5, just like this was technically none, and then 5. The next one will be 7, and then 9 and 11. So they're always odd like that. But we will do row 3. Okay, row 3. So we chained 1 and turned already. So standing double, single crochet from that chain, and then stick it through that leg, and then make a single, and then we have our double crochet. So we just did 3 here, so it was 4, 3, so this one's only going to be 2, so that counts as 1, and there's 2, and then a popcorn, and then the rest of the row will be 7 and a popcorn. So now I'm doing my popcorn. 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochets in the same stitch. So there were 2 double crochets, and then in the 3rd stitch we're going to do 4 double crochets. So pull up a loop, and this time we're on the front side, so we're going to go in the front of the 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4. I double checked that there were 4, and pull that down, but we don't want that too tight. Okay, and then now it's going to be 7. 7 double crochets in the next 7 stitches. 3, 4, 6. And then through the back of that, 7. And then we're going to do a popcorn, and you'll see it'll be on the outside of this. So this one was on the outside of that, and this one will be on the outside of this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 double crochets in the same stitch, then we're sticking it through the front, pull up a loop, and then take your hook out and put it through the front of the 4th stitch from the hook, or from the loop. Okay, and now it's going to be 7 again. 7 double crochets in the next stitches. 7 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, double crochets, US terms. So it's a yarn over, go through the stitch, pull up a loop, you pull through 2, then yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so we did 7. I'm going to double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And double crochet, a popcorn stitch. 3, 4, so 4 double crochets in the same stitch. Go through the front because we're on the front side and pull that loop through. Now, on this one we didn't have any double crochets on the end. In this one we had 1 double crochet, so this time there's going to be 2. So I'll show you, there's 2 stitches. There's one right here, kind of behind that popcorn. You can see that's on the inside. So this one's getting smaller, and this one's getting wider. So there's 1 double crochet and 2 double crochets. The edge kind of will work like that. It will, it will decrease and increase like that. So one double crochet there, and then the popcorn, and then 2 double crochets and the popcorn. So we'll chain 1 and turn, and then it's row 4. I realized for row 3 I didn't reiterate how it worked. If you were going to continue the pattern, it would just be 7 and a popcorn stitch, 7 and a popcorn stitch, all the way until you got to the end, and the end should have the same, situation where you have 2 left over. On the previous row, sorry about that. On the previous row, it's, it's the start, but then it's, we were going backwards, right? So it's the backwards popcorn stitch is what I'm going to call it. And then 9, and then the popcorn stitch, and then 5, and the backwards popcorn stitch, and then the backwards popcorn stitch. And then if we were doing more, it'd be 9, and then the backwards popcorn stitch, and then 5, and then the backwards popcorn stitch for row 2. And then for row 3, we're on the front side, so it's whatever you need to get to, wherever we're at on this edge, and then popcorn stitch and 7, popcorn stitch and 7, popcorn stitch and 7, if you keep going down this way. Like I said, I have a graph grid with the bee on it. I don't know if I'm going to do a full tutorial on the bee, because you can really kind of design that bee however you want. You could just do full honeycombs which is mostly what my tutorial is going to be focused on. But you can see this one's coming out and growing. This one's narrowing. So just like a honeycomb where the hexagons are next to each other like that. Okay, so row 4 will be on the back side. And I grabbed the wrong hook. This hook, you cannot go from a 6mm to a 4mm. That would be not good. So row 4, we chained 1 and turned already. So we had 2 double crochets in the previous row, so we're going to do 3. 1. Oops. I didn't do my standing double. Sorry, guys. All right. Okay, 1, 2, double crochets, 3. Notice that's in the back of that popcorn stitch. Now this is going to be a backwards popcorn stitch. So 4 into this, same stitch, 4 double crochets into the same stitch. I think I'm trying to go too fast. 4. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull that loop up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now not this way, but backwards this way. And then the last row was 7. 7's all across. That's my favorite row. But this is now going to be 5. Because remember, on this side, on this honeycomb, we're decreasing. So you just got to kind of pay attention to where you are on your 8s. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 double crochets. And then a popcorn, or backwards popcorn. 1, 2, and my husband's coming downstairs. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we have 4 double crochets in the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go to the 4th one. Remember, we're on the back side, so backwards. And then pull it through. Pull that down, but don't make that too tight. And then, so this one was 5. This one's going to be 9. So it was a 5 and then a popcorn, and then 9 and 9 double crochets and a popcorn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8. 9 is right behind that popcorn. So that now we're going to do a popcorn. So we did whatever we needed to get. So in this case 3, and then I think that should be, as long as you're doing sets of 8, and 8s plus 5 should always go out that way. 1, 2, 3. So sorry. And then a popcorn, a reverse popcorn, or backwards popcorn, and then 5, and then a popcorn, and then 9, Notice those two numbers always add up to 14. So 5 and 9, 7 and 7. This one was a 9 and a 5 as well, but the other way. Okay. So now I'm on the popcorn, right? Oh, let me double check my count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, the next one's a popcorn. Okay. So we're doing a popcorn stitch here. 1, 2, 3. Oh. Okay, had a little interruption there. Had a phone call I had to take. Okay, so I am on my third double crochet. Oh, I gotta get this phone adjusted again. On my third double crochet of this popcorn stitch. Right, so one more double crochet in that same stitch. We're on the back side. So we're not going to go this way, we're on the back side, so we're going to go backwards. Grab that, and then turn back around normal. And then we see we have one stitch left. So that means the next row is going to start with the popcorn stitch. That's something you'll observe in the pattern as you go. Okay, so this one was, that's my tail, sorry. 3 double crochets and a popcorn, and then 5 and a popcorn, and then 9 and a popcorn, and then 1 extra. Okay, so chain 1 and turn our work back on the right side. We're going to switch this to row 5. It's not focusing for some reason. There it goes. Row 5. So since this was a row of, a section of 5 right here, I know it's going to be one of these sections here, because it's going to close off the top of that half hexagon. But that's part of the pattern. Sorry, I've just banged the camera holder. Okay, so I need to do, so I did 1 double crochet at the end here, but that means I start with a popcorn. So I'm going to do a single crochet, a standing double crochet, or at least that's what I think it's called. Wait, I don't think I did it right. Do a single crochet. No, I did not do it right. And then through that loop, and then through here. And that's going to count as our first double crochet. I need 3 more, so 4 double crochets in that very first stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like I said, I like finding the top of that better than finding the third chain if you do chain 3 as your double crochet. Okay, sorry. So we're on the front side. And so we go back 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And loop it around. Like I said, I tend to stick my finger in there when I'm going the front way just to kind of keep it straighter. Okay, and then give it a little bit extra there. And then, because I've made my popcorn, this top one, I'll adjust this a little bit. I made that top one way too tight where I couldn't get into the stitch. So now I'm going to do 11 double crochets. 1, 2, so this is like our bottom. 3, 4, but reversed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we see we're in the back of that popcorn stitch. Now we're going to do a popcorn. So 4 double crochets in the same stitch. Do popcorn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure they're all in that same stitch. Yes, they are. All right. And pull that through. And now we're going to do a double crochet. And then a popcorn. So again, this is the top of this part of the honeycomb. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, the principle of this, you could double it out. To make it 10 across there, but then all your other counts would be different. So we did a popcorn and a double and a popcorn. Now we need to do a double, and we're going to do one more popcorn for that top. And you can see it ended, it's the top of that honeycomb. 1, 2, 3, 4. I use stitchfiddle.com to kind of create the graph grid, and like I said, you could make your honeycombs much larger if you wanted to. I liked this size, so that's what I went with. Plus I had to play around with the graph quite a bit to figure out what would actually make it look right. But again, this honeycomb that's half of it, and that's half of that one. So you can see it's pretty good sized. Again, when you get a count of an 11 between, you know it's going to be popcorn, double, popcorn, double, popcorn. But that's the only time we have our popcorns close together like that. Okay, now this row, give it a little bit. We have one, get in there. It does not want to cooperate with me. There we go. Kind of big. Go back and shrink that a little bit. It's a little too big. There. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So this one starts to get wider. This one's down all the way. This one's at its widest point, so it'll start to narrow here. So that was row 5, and it was a popcorn stitch right in the beginning, then 11, then popcorn, double, popcorn, double, popcorn. And then if you had a wider piece, it'd be 11, and then this set of popcorn, double, popcorn, double, popcorn, and then 11, and then popcorn, double, popcorn, double. So it would continue on like that. Like I said, now that I'm seeing this, yeah, I guess it's wide enough to be a scarf, but kind of a narrow scarf. But you can see on the graph grid, my blanket is much wider than that. It's 85 stitches, not 21 like this one. Okay, so that was row 5. The odd rows are forward, the even rows are backwards. So we'll chain 1. I was making sure I didn't already do it. And turn our work. So like I said, I mean, you can't even see those popcorn stitches at all back here. Not really. You can see where they are, but they're certainly not showing up. It's completely on that side because we do that backwards popcorn. Okay, we're going to stop and do row 6. Okay, row 6. I saw Fiber Spider does that with the row counters on the videos, so it shows better. I will try to do timestamps too if I can figure out how to do that. Okay, so we're on the back side here. And this one's going to start to get wider. So we did 4 double crochets here before or after the popcorn. So we're going to do 3. I forgot to do the stacking. It just is so much cleaner, to me anyway. It is a little wider, but I like going into that top of that stitch a lot better. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and a popcorn. And we'll see, we'll be right here in that popcorn. One, 2, 3, 4 double crochets in the same stitch, and this is going to be a backwards popcorn, so I'm going to pull that up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, but I'm not going to go this way, it's backwards, so I have to go backwards. Pull it down, don't make this too tight, but don't make it too loose either. Just kind of find what works for you. And now we're going to do 5 stitches. So anytime we're on the top of this set, it's going to be 5 stitches. 5 double crochets. 2, 3, 4, 5, and a popcorn, a reverse popcorn, or backwards popcorn. I don't know what to call it. Again, I don't know if I've ever seen anyone else do it. That's not to say it doesn't exist out there, but so I'll call it a reverse popcorn, backwards popcorn. I don't know which is better. Probably backwards, because we're doing the back side. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, not the front, the back. I almost didn't pull that loop up big enough. All right, so we did 5 there, so this is going to be 9. Remember the last row it was 11, so we're coming inside, making this one smaller now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and now a backwards popcorn. And notice all those odd numbers in between. 2, I must have made that loop kind of big. Oops. 3, 4. Okay, pull up that loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, reverse. Popcorn, grab that loop, pull it through. And then there's one stitch left because it's in the top of that last row's popcorn. Kind of tricky to find. Okay, there it is. Okay, chain 1 and turn. Row 7. Probably should have stopped, but let's do a quick review of row 6 and then I will stop and start. So on the back side here, we started with 3, but that is not what's essential. It's you want to be right before that popcorn on the other side, and then 5 on top of those, and then a popcorn. So popcorn, 5, popcorn, and then 9 and a popcorn. So then what would happen if we had a wider pattern here? It'd be 5 and a popcorn. So not counting that one that we had at the end. So that would be one of the 5. So popcorn, 5, popcorn, 9, popcorn, 5, popcorn, 9. And then just finish out your rows however you need on that. Okay. We chained 1 and we're going to turn our work. And then we're going to do row 7. Okay, that was the right place. So right here, I'm going to do our standing double. Now for this yarn, it calls for a 5.5, but I used a 6. I'm using a 6 for the tutorial, but just whatever works for you for whatever yarn you're doing. So we did 1. Now we're going to do a second double crochet and then a popcorn. So a front ways popcorn because we're on an odd row, number 7. Four double crochets in the same stitch. My yarn is catching. One, 2, 3, 4. Front ways. Oh, again, I almost didn't make that loop big enough. We did 2 and a popcorn. Now it's going to be 7. Again, this is my favorite row because they're 7 and a popcorn, 7 and a popcorn. Once you're to that first one. Okay, 1, 2, 7 double crochets, that is. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we're at 7 and we're doing a popcorn. And again, we're seeing that now it's coming in. Popcorn. 1, 2. Holy moly. Sorry, guys. Sorry, y'all, I should say. 2, 3, 4. I'll make sure they're all there in the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Front ways is also easier, so. And then 7. We did 7 in a popcorn, 7 in a popcorn. This whole row would be 7 in a popcorn. It's my favorite row when I was doing the blanket. Golly, I was having trouble. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, and a popcorn stitch. So 4 double crochets into the same, and it's front ways, so it's a normal popcorn stitch. Go in front, grab your loop, pull it down, give yourself a little bit of extra. And in my case, now it would normally just be 7 in a popcorn, 7 in a popcorn, 7 in a popcorn, all the way across. But I'm already done with my rows, so it's going to be 2 left, I believe. Yeah, because that one was 3, so it'd be 1 less. So 2 left here. Okay, chain 1 and turn our work, and then we'll do row 8. Okay, I'm starting row 8 again. We're at the reverse side, so we chained 1 and turned, and this is row 8. So we're gonna turn. I put a stitch marker in there because I had to stop recording because my storage was out, so I had to do some filming around. Anyway, so we're on row 8 again. I'm not counting this foundation row. So this one we just did 2 double crochets and a popcorn, popcorn and the 2 double crochets. So this is the end of the row, will be 1 double crochet and then a reverse popcorn is what I'm calling it, or backwards popcorn. I really hope this is the same hook I was using. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure I was using a 6mm and this specific one. So then we're going to do the reverse popcorn, which again, traditionally a popcorn stitch has 5, but I'm doing 4 and the puppies are losing their minds. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let me switch this up a little bit. Let me see if I can get myself to be able to cooperate. It's not the yarn, it's me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost lost the stitch again. There we go, 4. Okay. So I pull up a loop, and then we're on the back side, so we're not going to go this way. We're going to go this way. And then pull it down, but give this a little bit of looseness, and the puppy is wanting out, but we're just going to ignore that. So, hold on, this is all wrapped around. Thank you. My stepdaughter just let the dogs out, so they'll stop whining, which is great. Okay. So we just did popcorn. Now we're into the pattern part. So how many ever you'll need. So first we're going to do 9, because last row was the 7s. So we're going to do 9. I'm so sorry. 9 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then a reverse popcorn. So 4 double crochets in the same stitch. 2, 3, 4, and then pull that loop up, and then again 1, 2, 3, 4 in the same stitch. We're not going this way because we're on the back side, so like I said, reverse popcorn, backwards popcorn. I think reverse popcorn is probably a better. Pull that down tight, but then give yourself a little extra there so you can get into that stitch. Okay, so we did the end, which was 2, but then the pattern will be popcorn, 9, popcorn, and then 5. And then a popcorn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then a popcorn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and reverse popcorn. 1, 2, 3, 4. This way because it's backwards. Pull that down so that popcorn goes out the other side. And what we're left with, because we're at the end, again, the pattern would be if you have more counts so that it's wider than this. The end on this end was 2, and then popcorn 9, popcorn 5, popcorn 9, popcorn 5, popcorn 9, popcorn 5. Then when you get to the end on this end, it should also be 2. Let me make sure that's, nope, I lied to you. It's 3. So this end is 3, the other end is 2. There's our 5, 2, 3. Okay. So, chain 1 and turn our work. And this will be row 9. And this is the last of the repeats because it's going to be the same as row 1. So technically, I guess it's an 8-row repeat, but in my brain, it makes sense to go ahead and finish off this this honeycomb piece, this hexagon. But it is going to be the same as row 1. So, which row 1 was 4 double crochets. So, standing double crochet is what I'm doing. Oops, I forgot to do row 9. row 9. And again, it is actually the same as row 1 if you wanted to do that. So we did our chain, we did our single crochet, US terms, and then through that leg and through here. Again, I just found it's just so much easier to deal with or find that stitch instead of chaining 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then a popcorn. And this is going to be forward popcorn or regular popcorn. 2, 3, 4. And like I said before, traditionally popcorn would have 5 double crochets. But I didn't want it to eat that much yarn. So if you wanted to do 5, you would get an even puffier popcorn. It would be even more visible than that. So if you have lots of yarn, go for it. Get one of those just 1 pound balls at Dollar Tree for $5. That's what are they? A little over 1,000 yards, I think. 2, 3, 4. This is forward to make sure there are 4 in that stitch. We go in the front, grab that loop, and pull it down. Give myself a little bit of room, and then double crochet, and then a popcorn. We're so close to done. And a double crochet. Whoop. Oops, sorry. Or we need to finish our popcorn first. We need 4 double crochets in the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull that loop up. Again, we're going regular, so through the front, grab that loop. Like I said, I tend to put my finger through. Whatever feels comfortable. It took me a while to get used to the popcorn stitch, so you might want to practice that part if it's not something you've worked with before. Okay, so we did 4 at the front, popcorn stitch, double crochet, popcorn stitch, double crochet in the next stitch. And then popcorn stitch. And then it will be 11 double crochets, US terms. 1, 2, 3, 4, which I believe is a double crochet. Here is a treble crochet in UK terms, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the front. Make sure they're all in the same. Yep. And now we have the, pull this up a little. Now we have the top, or the complete hexagon. So that's why I said 9 rows to complete it, even though row 9 and row 1 are exactly the same. So it's going to be 4 in the front, but then the pattern will be popcorn, double crochet, popcorn, double crochet, popcorn. I think of those as 5 stitches together, but that's really the pattern. Popcorn, double, popcorn, and then 11 double crochets. Sorry, that's all wonky. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh my goodness. Let's try that again. I went through part of that stitch. 10, 11. And remember how we had 2 on the end? Well, our 11th was in that stitch. So now we're going to have a popcorn on the very end, just like we did down in row 1. But even though it's a repeat of that, I don't feel like the pattern is complete if I stopped at row 8. So 1 through 9 gives you the complete, this complete honeycomb or hexagon and half there. So obviously you wouldn't stop after just that. You'll see in the blanket I made that I continued on and did some cutting down of the honeycomb, but and put another color kind of in the background. I will include the graph grid I used. Everything is double crochets. So if you know how to change colors and all of that. I just mostly wanted to show this with where I was doing the reverse popcorn stitch and then the actual pattern to get it to look like this. So that was my 4 double crochets in the end. Pull it up. I need to pull it up just a little bit more. I don't trust myself on the end here. 1, 2, 3, 4, all in that same stitch. Go in the front. Grab that loop, pull it down, chain 1, and turn if I was going to keep going. But that is all 9 rows. The 9-row repeat. And again, row 1 is the same exact as row 9, but to get that complete honeycomb, that you need that 9th one. So that's row 9, and then you would just repeat. I am going to do my best to put timestamps so you could go back and forth. And again, the pattern for this row is once you've gone through the front, popcorn stitch, double crochet, popcorn stitch, double crochet, popcorn stitch, 11 double crochets, popcorn stitch, double crochet, popcorn stitch, double crochet, popcorn stitch, 11, and it would keep going like that until you get to the end, and you should end on a popcorn stitch if you have done a multiple of 8 plus 5. And I would do at least 16 plus 5. I would do at least 21. And again, I don't know if that's wide enough for a scarf or not, but my pattern had 80. Well, the grid that you'll see is 85. I didn't realize I needed the plus 5, so mine doesn't have complete honeycombs on the side. So you can kind of see that it's got the half hexagon there. Anyway, that's it for this tutorial. Let me know if you want me to include how to do all the color changes and the V and everything, but literally it's all double crochets. And if you use the grid, then you will be able to match exactly what I did. But otherwise, if you want to just use the honeycomb and do a whole blanket or a whole scarf or a panel of a sweater or whatever you want to do, that's what this tutorial is about. And like I said, I'd never seen that backwards popcorn before, so that's why I did it. And that's it. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. See you next time.